Hi, everyone. Today we're going to look at how to set up some time reports to be sent out via Google Sheets. And so right now, when you go to the Reports tab and you click on Time Reports, and then you select Add New at the top, there's a number of different send types that you can choose from, most notably Amazon S3. You can do SFTP or FTP for a file transfer directly to the server. Email seems to be the most common, where you can just put an email address to send the file to. But the newest thing we have here is Google Sheets. And so you can see here when I select that option, some new fields dynamically fill up. And so today we're going to look at where you need to go at to get this exact information from within your Google account. So to start off, we're going to go to the developers.google.com for the workplace to go ahead and create a new project. So just have to make sure that you're logged into your Google account and then click on the necessary link to get to this page, which we will have in our guide that we'll be able to provide. But here, all we're doing is clicking go to create a project. Once that takes you to this page, we're simply going to do one thing here, and that's we're going to name the project. So name something like Brett Lead Portal, Leads. This is the organization the files are going to be submitted into within the Google Drive. That obviously can be changed to be anything you'd like here. Once we're filling out the project name, we're going to click Create. This creates the project in your Google account. And so one of the first options inside your Boberdoo system is the client ID, and then the project ID and the client secret. The first option we're getting is the project ID. So that's what we just created on the last page here. And you'll see here project info, and the project ID is just that name that I gave it before. So might have a couple different projects here. Project ID, we're just going to go ahead and grab that. Paste that into the box for project ID. Now, the next step is right at the bottom of this page. Next step, we're going to enable some APIs to work in your project. So clicking that link takes us to the next step. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go to the product library to choose Google Sheets, because we're setting up a project to be using Google Sheets. So we need to enable Google Sheets for the project. So here's all the possible kind of Google options that you can enable. We're just looking for Google Sheets, and we're going to click on it. And then we're just going to simply click enable. That's the only step that you really have to do here to enable the API. So once this is done loading, that's going to take us back to this page here. And so we've enabled the API now. Now we need to set up the credentials to be able to get this to work. So one thing that they will make you do is configure this OAuth consent screen. And if you're familiar with, logging in really anywhere on the internet nowadays, OAuth is the process of where you'll get a pop-up saying, hey, are you sure you want to log into this other system, even though you're already logged into somewhere right now? And so that's what we're going to configure here. You don't have to think about it too much. If you just follow the options that I put in here, makes it nice and easy. We're going to do internal only because you're not authorizing external users to look in your Google account. This is just for your company. So you're going to do internal and click create. So now here, the name, we're just going to name it exactly what we did for the project ID. It doesn't have to be, but it just keeps it consistent across everything. Then we're just have to put our email address in a few spots here to register it. So I'm just going to put help desk here. None of these other things are required. We can skip them. The only other option that's required is another email address, where we're just putting that in there. And we're going to click save and continue. Literally everything else can be kind of ignored on this page. You're just going to go ahead and click to get back to this dashboard. So now that we have the OAuth consent screen configured, the last step is getting the actual credentials. So I click credentials here. At the top, I'm going to do create credentials. This is an OAuth setup. So we're going to get the OAuth, and then we know we need the client ID from back to the boberdoo system. We're looking for the client ID. So that's why we're going to select OAuth client ID from this credentials option. Here, we're going to select web application because this is just from a website, right? Don't really have to name anything here. The only other option you need to do is this authorized redirect URI. So you'll click add here, and what do you put here? If you go back to your boberdoo system, it will say this option right here. Make sure to allow this redirect URL. So it's a simple copy paste back into the Google setup. Click create. This now generates the client ID. I can simply click the little copy button here. And now I'm going to paste it in the client ID. I think it's the leads project ID. Change that. So we get the client ID. Now we're going to go back and get the secret, client secret. Paste that in there as well. So when we're looking at the setup here, we're pretty much done with the configuration. Only thing we need to do now is choose which report we want to send out, the date period that we want to send the data for. So let's say I'm going to do the last 30 days just to make sure we got leads in there. Active or not active is for having it automatically send out scheduled. If it's not active, it doesn't send out automatically, but you can still always click send now at any point. We went through this option here. The last kind of option you can choose for the data is how do you want the data to apply to the file? So when we make this file and it sends to the Google Drive, and then we send a new one, should it save the data to a separate file? Should it add the new data to the existing file? It's pretty neat. It strips off the header and then only adds in the new data. It's good for those ongoing kind of reports that you want to gather information about. Or finally, you can overwrite existing data with the new file. We're going to do save data to separate files just to keep it simple here. File name. I'm going to name it Brett Leads.csv. That's the name that we're going to look for in the Google Drive. Finally, the days to send for that automatic sending. If you want to schedule it, I want to send it, for example, every Friday at 9 a.m. I get the last 30 days worth of leads uploaded into my Google Drive. So when that's done, we're going to click save. And now the final step to get authorized, you'll see there's a little exclamation mark here to click to authorize Google Sheets. And so this was that consent screen that we configured before. All we need to do, click the exclamation mark. Are you sure you really want to authorize Google Sheets? Yes. Now we're going to get that redirect URL to say, hey, we need to sign in with your Google account to continue to this particular project. Are you sure you want to allow access? Allow. And that's it. So now when I go, if I was to schedule it and send it automatically, or if I just click send report now, time report was successfully started. So if I were to go to my Google Drive I can see Brett leads right here, 8:40 a.m. It's an instant upload, and I can click here and see that file of the admin leads report for the last 30 days automatically put into the Google Sheet within the account, within the Google Workspace account that you set everything up. So kind of just to recap real quick again, inside your boberdoo system, when you go to timed reports, you're going to need to create the project ID, which then allows you to then generate credentials to paste in here. And then it's just a matter of choosing which report you want to send, when you want to send it, and getting that done. Let us know if there's any questions, and we'd be happy to help guide you through this setup. Thanks and have a great day.